comes to the TV show Fallout, I'm going to be completely honest and say I had an amazing time watching the show for so many reasons. Firstly, I really enjoyed the plot of the show, very similar to the plot of Fallout 3, that being the main character, in this case that being Lucy, going after to find her father and exploring the surface world. I even enjoyed the subplot of this show where it's the mysteriousness between Vault 31 to Vault 33, and we're seeing Lucy's younger brother exploring this and investigating it. Found that very intriguing. Another thing I loved was the characters in this show and seeing them somewhat develop over time. Seeing that with Lucy, who's very naive in the beginning and somewhat realises as the show progresses that certain rules that worked in the Vault don't necessarily work out in this surface world. We see the Ghoul, who's a great character, and just learning about the backstory of him and why he has this distrust for Vault-Tec. And then even characters like Maximus, who we see somewhat getting the job that they thought they really wanted at the time, and then they get the job they actually wanted, and we're just seeing the disillusion that he has had over him by the Brotherhood, and that's somewhat fading. I just really enjoyed that. And when it comes to the setting, I think they did a remarkable job as they really capture what the games had set up for them, whether it be the vaults, whether it be the towns that they visit, or whether it's just going into a store. They put so much detail into these locations that someone like myself who hasn't really played Fallout but remembers it feels like they're actually in this video game. It's just impeccable. The attention to detail is immaculate. Even the hints and little references here and there with posters, with candy, with even seeing like someone's arm and you just know that's the arm of a super mutant. Just such very much distinct attention to detail. It's something that needs to be praised way more than it is getting. Something I really loved in this show was the violence. To me it was amazing. It was very much like the game. We're seeing body parts coming off and just very sheer brutality that the game has always depicted, and I'm glad they didn't censor that or try to minimise it in any shape or form. The soundtrack in this TV show worked immensely well, really fitting into the atmosphere. I just think it fits so well into this show as well. Even small things like what can be interpreted as Lucy being naive when she's trying to negotiate with somewhat villainous characters, I saw that as them trying to interpret using the probability that we get in the video games to try to de-escalate situations. I just thought that was such a great way to nod to that, and we get a lot of those type of situations, and I just feel like they captured nearly every aspect of the video game so subtly. It was just immensely well. The last thing I will talk about, which I really loved, was the humour in this show. Is something that I wasn't, in all honesty, expecting, yet they did a top-notch job of it when it comes to either the visual or the dialogue perspective of humour. And then when it comes to the finale of the show, I'll be 100% honest and say it felt very dark, as we're seeing characters from the past and present realising the truth, and it really affects these characters and they somewhat feel like they've been lied to their entire lives. I just enjoyed that. It was really quite a dark moment, and then as well as that we get this great shootout between the rebels and the Brotherhood, even seeing the Ghoul getting involved, and I just love that. Now when it comes to critiques, I'm going to be 100% honest, I can't think of anything. I could be very nitpicky and say, oh, we didn't get this particular creature, oh, we didn't get this. But at the same time, this is the first season. You don't want to play your cards too early or put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. You want to start by slowly showing off this world and the creatures from it, and I think they picked the best creatures possible. Hopefully in season 2 we do get to see the Deathclaws, the super mutants, but for now I'm happy with what we got. Overall, I really enjoyed this show, not only because of its attention to detail, but because of the plot, which was very much hooking. We got great characters and their development over time, the great backstory, the great visuals, the amazing acting, the great violence that they depict throughout this show. I come to say, is this show good? No, it is great. Rating wise, it's a 9 out of 10. Now when it comes to would I rewatch it, 100% yes. I'm not even that big a Fallout fan, but this immense attention to detail cannot be unnoticed, and I bet if I rewatch it I'm going to spot so much more. Now when it comes to recommendations, I'm going to start off with The Last of Us TV show, not only because like this it was a great adaptation of a great game, but also because it's dealing with the post-apocalyptic world, and we're seeing these characters exploring that world and the creatures from it. Secondly, I recommend Westworld, as both shows are created by Jonathan Nolan, and very much like Westworld, Fallout has that Western vibe, which is amazing to see. And both shows have talk about corrupted businesses, which lets me move on to my third and final recommendation, that being The Boys, which again, both shows have that great amount of violence, the crude humour, but also has the somewhat talk of companies being very greedy and just out for control, which you see in 100% in both shows. Those are my recommendations. This has been my review for the TV show Fallout. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed, please like and subscribe, but most importantly, thank you and have a nice day.